This video is for using the quadratic equation to solve some problems in Study Island. First of all, I would just like to show you something that's available in Study Island. You'll see here right beside Graph Quadratic Equations, there's a little link for lesson. If you click on that, a little lesson will come up that gives some explanation on how to do this type of problem. You can actually leave this up while you're working in Study Island and flip back and forth. So I could leave that up and then, click back on the Study Island and start my session. That way I would still have that information up. I'd be able to refer back to it while I'm working on it. So that's really useful. We're going to use some of that information to solve some of the various types of problems in Study Island. This problem right here, they want to know which of the following equations fits this graph. First of all, when you read through that information that I showed you, one of the first things it says is for quadratic equations, they're written in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. All right. If a is positive, the parabola or the curve faces up for positive a. If a is negative, the parabola faces down. Since this parabola is facing down, we know that a, or the coefficient to the x squared term, has to be negative. So that is nice because it rules out a and d because they do not have negative coefficients for x squared. B and c both do. So now we need to figure out which one is the equation for this graph. I think the easiest way to do that is to simply pick a point on the graph. I'm going to pick the point 3, 0. So when I put 3 in for x, I should get 0 for y. If I don't, then that is not the equation for this graph. So trying letter B, if I put in 3, I have negative 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 9. That gives me negative 9 minus 18 plus 9. That's not going to be 0. Hopefully you can tell that pretty quickly there. Let's try the next one just to be sure. Negative 3 squared plus 9 gives me negative 9 plus 9, which is going to be 0. So I get, when I put in 3 for x, I get 0 for y, which means that C is my correct answer. Here's another type. They want to know what is the x-intercept of this graph. Again, pretty much we just do the same thing as the last one. I start taking the points and putting them in. The first thing we can do, though, is an x-intercept has 0 for y. It has a number for x, but a 0 for y. So we can cross out B. I know A, C, and D all have a 0 for y, so it's got to be one of those. So pretty much I would just go through and start putting the numbers into the equation. A good place to start would be these two, since they're both there. It's probably one of those, since it gave you the positive and negative. I'm going to just start with A and put that in. Negative 7 squared plus 14 times negative 7 plus 49. Negative 7 squared is going to give me a positive 49, negative 7 times negative 7, plus the 14 times negative 7. That's going to give me a negative 98, so really I could put a negative there, or a minus. 98 plus 49. And when I do this, I discover that that does, in fact, equal 0. So that is going to be my x-intercept. It is probably wise to go ahead and double check the last two, do the math, just in case you messed up on that first one, and that way you won't be making a mistake that you're not catching. Thank you for watching this short video.